Hello and welcome to the Free Outside podcast. Why don't airports have gyms? I mean, if you're going to have a layover and there's like bars everywhere, why don't you have the option to like jump on a treadmill, do a quick lift sesh, get like a party pump in before you meet your in-laws? Just saying, I think there would be a demand if there was a place to work out in airports. Okay, today's special holiday edition of the Free Outside podcast. Today I'm going to run through 10 things plus or minus that I really like over the last year, why I like them, what I've used them for, and you can decide, do you want to buy them or not? This episode and all of them are brought to you by Janji Garage Ground Gear and CS Coffee. On that note, most of these are unsponsored. I'll let you know if there's any affiliation or back-end agreement, but I cannot be bought. Look at me. I'm too expensive for these brands. Okay, number one, Exotoes. So I've been a toe sock fan since I began doing FKTs. I feel like they just limit the blisters a little bit, and that rubbing between your toes. It gives each little toe its own little home to rest between and not have to rub against each other. And I really like the Exotoes, which are by Exoskins, commonality in their name. They also have like calf sleeves over there, but I'm not a big calf sleeve fan. My calves like to live free and die hard on these hill workouts lately. But anyways, the Exotoes I wore for the Appalachian Trail, I really liked them. I thought they were a little bit more durable than Janji, and yeah, no shade on Janji, but I just liked them. They seemed to work well. They didn't wear out too much, and then that combined with spraying them with permethrin kept any tick issues away, and it worked. All right, number 2 on the list. So I've done a few adventures out where it's hot and humid and stuff kind of gets smelly, stinky, or stays kind of damp forever. And that really sucks, especially insulation. So down isn't usually the best where it's going to be too wet and humid. But for both the training camp that I did and for the Appalachian Trail, I used a synthetic sleeping bag. I'd used treated down before on a Pinhoti Trail, FKT, and when just doing my own thing out in Alabama a couple years ago. But I thought the synthetic worked really good. The weight seems to be not as drastically different as it used to be. My first backpacking adventure, through hiking adventure, was on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2011. You may have heard me talk about it before. But I had a synthetic bag back then and it weighed like 4 pounds. This time on the AT, I took the Enlightened Equipment Revelation Apex quilt. It was synthetic, and I think just quilts in general, big fan of because they're convertible. You can unzip the toe box, and so your feet can live free and die hard with that airflow coming in, or you can zip it up and you got like a little home and more insulation there. So big quilt fan. So wherever you're looking, I like quilts. And this synthetic insulation, I think it was around a pound, maybe a little bit over. I'd have to look, or you can look at my gear list for the AT, but I found that to be pretty good, and it felt warmer than the 50-degree rating that I took. And so I'd never used Enlightened Equipment stuff before. I'd used Katabatic in the past, but this synthetic bag, I give at least 5 stars, I would say. Got me to the end. My next one, this no affiliation, but the owner is a really nice guy. So I did a training camp before the Appalachian Trail, and then I did the Appalachian Trail, and both times I flew into Bangor, Maine. And from Bangor to get to the trail, the AT, the Appalachian Trail, as they say out in that area, you have to get a ride somehow. And Chris from Light AF gave me a ride both times. And not only is he a good guy, but he also makes packs, Light AF packs. He has a whole like setup shop on his property in Monson, Maine, and it's pretty spectacular. He can print designs on the fabric, customize things, and if you have a concept, he's willing to try it out. He built me a pack for the Colorado Trail unsupported record that I did, and I got the record on that, and the pack worked great. So, and I think it's pretty awesome when a company is willing to come up with a style, a design, and also include and hear out any features made in Maine too. So that is pretty cool. Wanted to throw that out there. I haven't used a light AF pack the last couple of years, but when I did use it, I got the record, so it worked. All right, next up, in the past year, and in general, I like to do a lot of running where running is simple because that's kind of why we all love it, right? You just put on a pair of shoes and go. But when you want to go a little bit further and you want to have some nutrition and carbs out there, I've become kind of a big belt guy. I actually have 2 belts and I wanted to recommend them both. I think they both work differently, and I think we talk about them like they're competitors, but I don't really think that they are. So the Naked Belt, big fan. I ran Javelin 100 with it a couple years ago, so it got me through a 100 miler. You can fit like a liter of water in there, maybe a liter and a half if you want, and plenty of nutrition for a 3 to 4 hour run. And so big recommend is a little lighter, more minimalist. And then I also recently got the Raid LF2 belt, which has like a 2 liter capacity, maybe like double the capacity of a Naked belt, but it does feel a little bit more like someone's like holding you really tight around the waist. So just different functionalities between the 2 belts. Like them both. No pressure to recommend any of these products so far. I'm just throwing out ideas if there's an ultra runner in your life and something here strikes your fancy. And you know what? I live in Montana. The daylight is at a premium right now. It is dark early, and it is dark early. It's dark early in the morning and it's dark early in the evening. So we don't have a lot of daylight. But what I did find that I really like is the Ultraspire Lumen 800 Solstice. So what I like is it can be used as a headlamp, and if you buy the waist thing, it has a bracket on it that it can actually be a waist light. And why did I like this? When it was foggy or rainy or snowy and lots of weather, when the light is closer to the ground, it's a lot easier to see what you're running on. And that worked really well for me on the AT in the Northeast when the fog rolled in, so I could see the technical footing because the light was just closer to my feet when they're running over technical terrain. So big fan of the convertibility of the Ultraspire 800 Solstice. I never used it on more than medium setting and worked pretty good. It also held up fairly good even when it was cold. I found that the cold zaps a lot of battery lives. So want to recommend that as we go into consumerism weekend here. I'm going to recommend 2 different meals, and they're kind of both biased. So sorry. But think about this. You're going skiing. You've got a family of 5 to feed, but you just can't quite afford a $20 cheeseburger, and your youngest might not even like cheeseburgers. Well, what if you let them all pick out their own backpacking freeze-dried meal and all you needed was hot water to make it? They're going to like it more. It's going to have better nutrition, better nutritionals involved in the meal, and it's just going to be hot and ready and exactly what they want, so not everyone has to eat fries for $20 at the ski resort. Well, the 2 meals I would recommend, obviously I have to recommend the ReadyWise breakfast skillet. This is the meal that I created with them. And actually on the Appalachian Trail, I was going, I was somewhere in the White Mountains near a hut. I just popped over the peak of a mountain and I'm coming down, and there's this group, like a bunch of dads and their kids. Just dads and kids marching up the trail. And one of the kids has this carabiner off his pack, and attached to the carabiner are a couple of these freeze-dried meals. And you know what's on the outside? It's my meal. It says Jeff Garmire, ReadyWise breakfast skillet. So if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you. I also cold soaked it a couple times on the AT, and it worked really good. Just takes a little longer. The other meal I cold soaked out there was the Trail Goods Co. Stir Fry Noodle. Both of these, or at least Trail Goods, is on Garage Grown Gear, so you can get it there. But I cold soaked that. It's the meal I actually had the night before the record because I was staying in a cabin on a lake right before going up Cocodona and starting the thing, and I didn't have access to a stove or hot water, so I needed something that would be filling and memorable for my last meal before beginning the AT, but that wouldn't need hot water. And that is tricky, but I'll tell you what, the stir fry pork noodle worked really good. So big recommend on both those meals for whatever your outdoor venturing needs have in store for you. Now let's move on to poles. The Gossamer Gear LT5 poles. So I took initially a Z folding pole out on the AT and I trained with it. 2 different times this pole locked up because it got like grime or something, and the attachment to lock it in place just got stuck, like so stuck that my little T-Rex arms at that point could not deal with it. So I had to order the LT5 poles. I've used these poles on like 20 different FKTs, on the Calendar Year Triple Crown, on, well, the Great Western Loop, some during Cocodona. So these poles work. And then I used them for the second half of the Appalachian Trail. So big recommend on these. They're telescoping. I know some people are split on telescoping, and if they hold that well, I've never had an issue. They're also carbon fiber, so they're really light. I've just found they work. So I started out with something different and I switched back to old reliable. So that's got to show you something. But take it or leave it. 2 more things. Sawyer, the Sawyer sunscreen. Every year at Cocodona, I think it's the Stay All Day. Actually, I got some here to prove I use it. The Stay Put sunscreen. So it's worked really good as far as staying put all day while I ran Cocodona. And I don't get burned for a day on the water, for a day on the trail, for a day on the road. The Stay Put sunscreen will keep you unsunburned all day long. Sawyer also makes permethrin. So big recommend there. They will be sponsoring the show the start of 2026, but my girlfriend, I guess we say fiance now, also likes the sunscreen, so bias a little bit, but it's a good product. They also make permethrin, so treat your stuff as we head into tick season and mosquito season. It never stops coming. Every year it happens. All right, last recommendation, totally biased. The Janji Vortex gloves. I wore them at Cocodona last year, and my hands I had COVID, so I was going through like a bunch of temperature regulation issues, and actually someone running next to me was complaining how cold her hands were, so I just gave her my Janji Vortex gloves. That's how well I knew they worked, and you know, if you love it, just let it go. Give it away. If you love it so much, just make someone else's day with it, because others are more important than ourselves. It makes sense why I'm in therapy. Okay, those are my recommendations. Thought I would just come on here and do a quick bonus episode with what has worked for me this year. Take it or leave it. Hope you take it. But if not, that's okay. All right. Thank you for listening to the show. Thanks to Garage Grown Gear, Janji, JANJI.com. Code free outside for a percentage off your order. And CS Coffee. Hope you guys have a very happy holidays. Stay late, my friends.